Okay, welcome back, Mavericks, to this fourth episode Balancing Life, the Distribution of Ocean and Continents. This episode is about the story of a maverick, Alfred Wegener. His vision that changed the world. How only one person with their vision had changed the world, had changed the way we see the world. We will come to know in this episode. What is the impact of one person in the history of geography? We will start with this video.
11. A meteorologist named Alfred Wegener was browsing through some books when something caught his eye. A list of identical plant and animal fossils that had been found on opposite sides of the Atlantic Ocean. Wegener was intrigued. How could the same species have gotten from one part of the world to another? He examined the eastern coast of South America and the western coast of Africa, and was struck how the shapes of the two coastlines might fit together. The more he looked, the more links he found. Species of land mammals in East Africa also inhabited the island of Madagascar. How did that happen? Did the animals evolve in both places at once? Or did they somehow cross from one land to the other, swimming hundreds of miles across the Indian Ocean? And then Wegener saw it all clearly. He realized that all the continents in the world had once formed a giant single landmass that he called Pangaea, from the Greek Pangaea, meaning all earth. It was in Pangaea that the plants and animals found on opposite sides of the world had once shared the same home. Then, over hundreds of millions of years, Pangaea...
In this episode, we will decipher this video in detail. So watch it carefully.
had split apart, and its jigsaw pieces had drifted to their present locations. Wegener called his theory Continental Drift. Wegener wasn't the first scientist to speculate that the Earth had once been dominated by a supercontinent, but he was the first to pull together all the evidence and make a strong case for it. Unfortunately, his peers weren't very receptive. There was no mechanism to explain how the continents might plow through the oceans. Continental drift was just too incredible to believe. As a result, his discovery was largely ignored.
Imagine this. It's the year 1912 in Germany. The world is in a state of certainty. People believe that the continents are fixed, unmoving. They are sure of it. The earth is seen as a stable, unchanging place. The maps you see today, people thought they were as true and the permanent as the sky above. Everything we know about our planet, about how it was formed and how it works, seems set in stone. There is no reason to doubt it. No reason. No reason to question. This is the truth. Or so everyone thought. What then? A maverick emerges. A man who is willing to risk everything. His reputation, his career, his credibility, to challenge the very foundation of that certainty on which people are living. A man who dares to ask, what if we were wrong? What if the land beneath our feet, the very earth we trust, isn't as fixed as we think? This wasn't just a small idea, it was a radical challenge to the entire way people understood this planet. That's why it's a big challenge, big idea. And who proposed this idea? His name was Alfred Wegener. This is the story of Alfred Wegener, the story of a maverick. Imagine being Alfred Wegener. He's standing there, looking at maps we saw in the video and fossils, realizing that the shapes of the continent look like they could fit together. He noticed something. He saw the pattern. He saw the jigsaw fit of the continent, identical fossils, similar rock formation. Then he think, क्या ऐसा हो सकता है कि these lands were once united, drifting apart over millions of years? Most people would have dismissed it, as it happened with all the mavericks in their starting phase. But Wegener was no ordinary man. He had the heart of maverick. Wegener didn't just have an idea, he had a conviction. But when he presented his theory to the scientific community, they laughed at him. They called it impossible. They ridiculed his vision. But Wegener didn't back down. He wasn't afraid of being wrong. He was driven by the truth. This was a man who stood tall against all odds, daring to challenge what the world believed was unchangeable. As we know, Alfred Maverick was a maverick, someone who could look at the earth, see the unseen, and refuse to accept no for an answer. वो एक्सेप्ट ही नहीं कर सकता था कि किसी क्वेश्चन का आंसर नहीं हो सकता. He sparked something that would eventually lead to the theory of plate tectonic. This theory explained how mountains are formed, why earthquakes and volcanoes are formed more frequently in certain places, not in others, the creation of oceanic features. Wegener theory became the cornerstone of modern geology and proving that the earth is alive. Write it down. His theory proves that earth is alive, dynamic, and ever changing. I repeat, his theory proves that earth is alive, dynamic, and ever changing. And today we know that Wegener theory was more than just an idea. It was the spark that set off a scientific revolution. Because of his courage to stand against the world, to be a maverick, we understand how the Earth's surface is a living, breathing system, always shifting and evolving. That's the power of thinking differently, of asking the questions no one dared to ask. Now let's think about the Earth as Wegener did. Have you seen the mountains? Ritik,
Yes, sir.
what do you think about how they were formed? Do you have
Due
any
to
idea?
overlapping. So due to overlapping of land masses
But how?
or combining of, so how, due to movement of tectonic plates.
Then why those tectonic plates were moved?
No idea about this.
No worries, good try. Why do some parts of the world experience more earthquakes or volcanic eruption than other? Have you ever heard about island like Andaman and Nicobar? How do you think they formed in the middle of the ocean? Why do the Himalayan mountains exist in the northern part of India but not in the Punjab or southern part in the state of Tamil Nadu? Why are some parts of the ocean so deep, like the Mariana Trench, while others are shallow? Why are some parts of the ocean so deep?
So it is maybe it is due to convergence and divergence of the plate boundaries.
Yes, you are right, but we haven't learned about those facts. So we will go with the flow. We will go with the class. This is the questions. It was in the mind of Alfred Wegener. They are also thinking about why are most continents located in the northern hemisphere, not in the southern? Why does the Pacific Ocean cover such a vast area compared to the oceans? These are questions that invite curiosity and exploration, much like Wegener's journey. We will discuss his idea in detail in time to come, no worries. Now, I want you to think about this. What we can learn from this life, his life? What if the next big idea, the one that changes the course of history, comes from you? What if the future's greatest discovery aren't made by playing it safe, but by being bold, by questioning what everyone else accept as a fact? As a UPSC aspirants, you are not just preparing for an exam. Just remember this thing. You are not just preparing for an exam, you are preparing to shape the future of this country, to challenge the status quo, to ask the questions that no one else dares to ask. Alfred Wegener wasn't just a scientist, he was a hero, a maverick who changed the way the world think about Earth. And now, as future leaders, policymakers, and thinkers, you have the opportunity to do the same as Alfred Wegener did in his time. There is a two word in the title of this episode: distribution of ocean and continent. So tell me, Harleen, what is the meaning of continent?
So, like when there was a major landmass and it divided into certain pieces, they were named continents. I'm not sure.
And what is the criteria to be considered something as continent?
Mm, I don't know about this.
No worry, good try. Before we move forward, we will understand the meaning of continent. A continent is a large land of a continent is a large area of land usually separated from other land by oceans or sea. I repeat, a continent is a large area of land usually separated from other land by ocean and sea. The question I just asked from Harleen, what is the criteria to be considered something as continent, is not a scientific criteria. It is based on some factors like size, boundaries, elevation from ocean, geology, crustal structure, tectonic independence, unique flora and fauna, cultural uniqueness, convention. Why we call it Indian Ocean as Indian Ocean? It's because of the convention. There is no scientific reason behind calling Indian Ocean as Indian Ocean. So, Ritik, we discussed what is the meaning of continent. And we also used two words, ocean and sea. दोनों में डिफरेंस क्या है? क्या दोनों सेम है या ये दोनों डिफरेंट डिफरेंट है?
Sir, ocean and sea is a different thing. Ocean is mainly a combining of seas, whereas sea is a
Combining of rivers?
reverse.
No, but good try. Saurabh, you please all switch on your cameras. I wanted to see your face. Saurabh, tell me, what is the difference between sea and ocean?
So I think it will be dependent on the depth of the ocean and sea.
Yes, this is one of the factor
Yes, sir.
on which we decided something as a sea or something as a ocean. Okay, good. Harleen, what do you think?
So, like seas are mostly enclosed by land,
But
and
same can be applicable to ocean.
we can say seas are smaller than the ocean.
Yes, size.
Yes.
One is depth, one is size, other. Can we say salinity?
Yes.
Could anyone give me
Oceans are more saline.
could anyone give me the example of ocean and sea? Saurav, कोई example ocean और sea की?
सर ओशन तो हो गया, पैसिफिक ओशन हो गया.
Yes. और सी?
सी का नहीं पता सर।
रेड सी, कैरिबियन सी, मेडिटेरियन सी. So mainly the
ओके।
difference in between oceans and seas lies in many factors, but we will only discuss five. Four. First one is size. Sea are smaller in size, often partially enclosed by land. Ocean Ocean are larger, vast bodies of water covering most of the earth and enclosed by continents. Depth. Seas are shallow and ocean are deeper. Location. Seas found along coast or near land, or ocean found between continents covering large area. Salinity. Sea varies, can be less salty due to freshwater input. Now the question is, as I just said, sea varies, can be less salty due to freshwater input. But in the case of ocean, consistently salty due to the limited freshwater mixing. What is the meaning of freshwater mixing? Harleen, any idea?
सर यस, लाइक अगर जैसे फ्रेश वाटर ज़्यादा ड्रेन करता है किसी ओशन में या किसी सी में, तो वो उसकी सलाइनिटी को डिक्रीज कर देता है.
Yes.
जैसे अगर इंडिया में भी एग्जांपल है कि जो बे ऑफ बंगाल है उसमें ज़्यादा रिवर ड्रेन करते हैं, तो वो लेस सलाइन है एज कम्पेयर टू अरेबियन सी.
Okay. So now we understand what is the difference between sea and ocean and what is the meaning of continent. Harleen, this is a question for you.
यस सर.
Picture yourself as an IS officer.
ओके.
Now ask yourself, what value does understanding the distribution of ocean and continent holds? How does how does it shape your decision and impact your responsibility as an IS officer? Did you get the question?
यस सर.
So answer it. Take your time, 5 to 10 seconds. Structure it.
Like, do I need to have the reference of the ocean and sea?
I'll repeat my question. What value does understanding the distribution of ocean and continent hold while you serving as an IAS officer? अगर आपको पता है कि ओशन और कॉन्टिनेंट का डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन कैसे हुआ, तो वो आपकी जॉब में क्या वैल्यू होल्ड करेगा?
Sorry, sir.
No idea?
No, sir.
But you have to say something. Say anything. Don't worry.
लाइक मुझे उससे ये आइडिया होगा कि किस तरीके से ये डिवाइड हुए हैं एंड क्या इम्पोर्टेंस है उस थ्योरीज की.
ओके. उससे क्या होगा?
उससे जैसे अभी अगर हमें प्लेट थ्योरीज, अगर टेक्टोनिक प्लेट थ्योरीज का पता होगा, तो उससे जैसे अर्थक्वेक आते हैं, तो उस चीज को हम मैनेज करने में, आई मीन
डिजास्टर
उस नॉलेज
मैनेजमेंट.
को अप्लाई कर सकते हैं.
प्रिपेयर्डनेस फॉर डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट.
यस सर.
Okay, good point. Ritik, what do you think? Saurabh?
सर हमें पता चलता कि हम मिनरल्स कौन से एक्सट्रैक्ट कर सकते हैं एक तरह से.
Yes. It can be.
Then ऑयल वेल्स की लोकेशन भी पता चल सकती है इससे.
Okay, but you are thinking like a businessman,
यस सर.
not as a IAS officer.
सर एज दैट अकॉर्डिंग टू दैट ट्रांसपोर्टेशन के लिए इजी होता सर.
You are you wanted to become a civil servant.
यस सर.
So what is the responsibility of civil servant?
टू सर्व द नेशन, टू सर्व द पीपल.
Yes, to serve the people. Then इसकी knowledge कैसे help करेगी people को serve करने के लिए?
सर जैसे मिनरल्स की है,
हाँ.
मिनरल्स की जरूरत बहुत जगह पे पड़ती है सर. और हमें जैसे कोल भी होता है सर. अब
Yes.
तो उसकी भी हम वो इंडियन गवर्नमेंट के अंडर ही आता है.
For formation of policies.
यस.
Decision related to urban planning, agriculture policy, water resource management, disaster preparedness rely heavily on geographical and climatic insight. For example, coastal states face specific challenges like rising sea levels, cyclones, and soil erosion. Everybody know? Does everybody know how India's map looks alike? Does we have any coastal state?
Yes, sir.
How many?
Sir, not exact. I don't know exactly the number of the states.
So name it.
Like Gujarat,
Yes.
Maharashtra,
Yes.
and Kerala, Karnataka, Goa,
Yes.
Tamil Nadu, West Bengal,
Odisha.
yes, Odisha,
Andhra.
Andhra,
Yes.
and yes.
While inland areas might deal with the droughts or deforestation, understanding the Earth's physical structure and how ocean and continent are distributed allow you to address these challenges effectively. This knowledge shapes informed decisions, ensuring the efficient management of resources and resilience to global challenges. Okay?
Yes, sir.
We saw the story of Alfred Wegener. He proposed remarkable theory that is called plate Continental Drift Theory. We will understand through these two videos. This is the current map of world. This is our India. This is Australia, South America, North America, Europe, Africa, Middle East. इस वीडियो को केयरफुली देखो. उसके बाद we will discuss whether Earth is stationary or in continuous motion. In this video, we will see how Earth will look in 250 million years. This is the current globe. As we know, as we familiar with this globe, this is Australia, this is our India. अगर हम और आगे हम देखेंगे कि 250 मिलियन ईयर्स के बाद हमारी अर्थ कैसे दिखेगी. We will start with Saurabh. So tell me, what is your observation after watching those two videos?
Sir, in first video, they have shown that the land masses are diverging from one another.
Okay.
And second one, they have shown that it will converge after 250 million years from now.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Ritik, what is your observation?
So as per my observation, I I observed how Earth's continuously change its uh, we can say structural shape or continental shape.
Good. Or
So बस यही किया.
okay. Harleen,
So same as said earlier, it diverged, like continents tend to separate it, and after million years, it will again get converged.
yes. In the 1912, when everyone was thinking that Earth is in a stationary state, Earth is not moving, it was the Alfred Wegener, a German meteorologist, who put forth a comprehensive argument in the form of continental drift theory. This was regarding the distribution of ocean and continents. उन्होंने एक प्रपोज्ड की कॉन्टिनेंट ड्रिफ्ट थ्योरी और प्रूव करने की कोशिश की कि अर्थ स्टेशनरी नहीं है, ये कंटिन्यू मूव करती है. And he also proposed evidence in support of continental drift theory. Let me show you one diagram. This is the diagram which tell us how Earth looked like 255 million years ago. We call it, not we, Alfred Wegener call it Pangaea. All the land mass, इसमें लैंड मास है और ओशन है. लैंड मास का नाम पेंजिया and the mega ocean was called Panthalassa. Panthalassa. He argued that around 200 million years ago, the supercontinent Pangaea began to split. Pangaea first broke into two large continent masses, Laurasia and Gondwana land. This is Gondwana and that is Laurasia. Which are forming these northern and southern components. Subsequently, he proposed that Laurasia and Gondwana continued to break into various smaller continents that exist today. To prove his theory, he proposed 4 evidences. The first evidence he proposed is called as the matching of the continents, the jigsaw fit. सौरभ, इस मैप
Yes,
को
sir.
देखो और डीपली ऑब्जर्व करो इसे. क्या लगता है आपको कौन से वो लैंड मास है जो आपस में फिट हो सकते हैं? ध्यान से देखो. थिंक लाइक एल्फ्रेड वेगनर.
Africa or South America.
यस, नाउ यू आर थिंकिंग लाइक ए एल्फ्रेड वेगनर. सर, आपको पता है आप में और एल्फ्रेड वेगनर में क्या कॉमनैलिटी है?
No, sir.
You both are a mavericks, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
This is the Earth as it looks today. What is the evidence in support of continental drift? The matching of continents. As already Saurav told us, Africa continent and Southern America, they can fit together. The shorelines of Africa and Southern America facing each other. They had a unmistakable match. Ritik, व्हाट डू थिंक? कोई और लैंड मास भी ऐसे फिट हो सकता है जैसे अफ्रीका कॉन्टिनेंट और सदर्न अमेरिका फिट हो रहा है?
और सर मिडल ईस्ट विद सहारा डेजर्ट.
ओके, एनीथिंग एल्स?
नो आइडिया सर.
ओके, नो प्रॉब्लम. So this is the first evidence he proposed for his theory, the shorelines of Africa and South America. The second evidence he proposed, that is distribution of fossils. To understand the second evidence, we will see one picture. Before observing that picture, I want to ask one question from you. What is the meaning of fossil?
Sir, the meaning of dead animals or plants.
Where? You said remaining of animal and plants, but where?
Many years ago.
I'm not talking about time. I'm asking about location.
Like gradually they turn into a rock or something which is called fossil.
Yes. Saurabh, what do you think? What is the meaning of fossil?
So debris that are remain be under the earth landmass.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Fossil are the preserved remains or traces of plants, as Harleen told us, and animals that lived long ago. That can be a bones, shells, footprints, or even imprints of leaves. They help us learn about life and earth history. तो हरलीन, क्या लगता है आपको जो फॉसिल का एविडेंस है उसमें क्या होगा ऐसा जिससे प्रूफ हो जाएगा कि जो हमारी अर्थ है वो एक टाइम पे पेंजिया फॉर्म में थी?
सर ऐसा हो सकता है ना, अगर सपोज टू लैंड मासेस हैं जैसे जो सेपरेट हो गए हैं, अगर उन दोनों प्लेसेस में सेम फॉसिल्स मिलते हैं तो उससे आइडिया हो सकता है कि वो कंबाइन थे किसी टाइम में.
यस. वी विल सी एंड अंडरस्टैंड द एविडेंस ऑफ फॉसिल थ्रू दिस पिक्चर. इसको ध्यान से देखो. दिस इज अंटार्कटिका, दिस इज ऑस्ट्रेलिया, इंडिया, अफ्रीका, साउथ अमेरिका. एल्फ्रेड वेगनर ने ऑब्जर्व किया जो फॉसिल ऑफ फ्रेश वाटर रेप्टाइल है ना, फ्रेश वाटर रेप्टाइल मेसोसोरस, उसके सदर्न अमेरिका के कॉन्टिनेंट में भी मिल रहे थे और अफ्रीकन कॉन्टिनेंट में भी मिल रहे थे. ऐसा कब पॉसिबल है? अगर आप अभी करंट का मैप देखो तो उसमें इन दोनों कॉन्टिनेंट की दूरी बहुत बड़ी है. ऐसा पॉसिबल ही नहीं हो सकता कि फ्रेश वाटर रेप्टाइल एक सलाइन वाटर की बॉडी को, इतनी बड़ी बॉडी को क्रॉस करे और दूसरी तरफ जाए, बिकॉज दिस इज अ फ्रेश वाटर रेप्टाइल. ही हैज द एबिलिटी only to live in a fresh water, not in a saline water. This is the first evidence. Please note it down. The fresh water reptile America and also in Southern African continent. The second evidence, fossil evidence are Triassic land reptile, which found in Indian continental plate and also on Antarctica. अभी आप करंट में देखोगे तो अंटार्कटिका और इंडिया का जो डिस्टेंस है ना वो बहुत ज़्यादा है, पर ये कैसे पॉसिबल हो सकता है कि दोनों कॉन्टिनेंट में सेम टाइप के फॉसिल्स मिले? ये तभी पॉसिबल हो सकता है कि अगर किसी टाइम में दोनों लैंड मास आपस में ज्वाइंट हो. And same is applicable to Antarctica and Australia. ये चारों को लिख लो, चारों को नोट डाउन कर लो. दिस इज इंपॉर्टेंट. ऐसे लिख लेना, इंडियन एंड अंटार्कटिका में जो सिमिलर था वो था फॉसिल्स ऑफ ट्रायसिक लैंड रेप्टाइल, और सदर्न अमेरिका और अफ्रीका में था फॉसिल रिमेन्स ऑफ साइग्नोगेटस, ए ट्रायसिक लैंड रेप्टाइल, और सदर्न अमेरिका और अफ्रीका में था फ्रेश वाटर रेप्टाइल मेसोसोरस. This is how he proved his second evidence. Now we will move towards third evidence. The third evidence are placer deposit. So Saurabh, tell me, what is your understanding about deposit or placer deposit?
सर डिपॉजिट का पता है, प्लेसर का नो आइडिया सर. प्लेसर की
ओके, प्लेसर डिपॉजिट क्या मतलब होता है?
डिपॉजिट मतलब सर एक जगह पे जमा करके रखना है.
ओके.
Yes, sir.
Ritik, do you have any idea about placer deposit?
No, sir.
Harleen?
So minerals.
Yes, it can be. But what is the meaning of, if someone asks you define the term placer deposit, then how you will define?
So it can be said that a long time ago there was some amount of minerals like collected at a particular place.
Yes. Placer deposit are concentration of minerals or metals like gold, platinum, or tin that are found when these heavy materials are separated from lighter ones by natural processes like water flow or wind. I know अभी आपको समझ नहीं आया. We will understand how placer deposit look alike with the help of one video.
super tiny.
What are the first two evidences?
Sir, first are the shores, distance between the shores, interconnection
फर्स्ट एविडेंस
between
क्या
the
था?
shores.
फर्स्ट एविडेंस में हमने क्या देखा?
सर हमने कंटिनेंट्स के बेसिस पे हमने कहा कि ये जुड़े हुए थे एक साथ.
कौन कौन से वो थे, कॉन्टिनेंट थे वो?
आई थिंक साउथ अफ्रीका और ऑस्ट्रेलिया.
नहीं. हरलीन?
So, Africa and South America.
Yes. And the second one is distribution of fossils. And the third one is placer deposit. In the placer deposit, he proposed the occurrence of rich placer deposit of gold in the Ghana coast and the absolute absence of source rock in the region is an amazing fact. हमने एक वीडियो देखी जिसमें एक पर्सन मिनरल्स को डिपॉजिट कर रहा था रिवर बेड पे. क्यों? क्योंकि इन द एलिवेशन देयर इज अ सोर्स रॉक ऑफ दैट मिनरल्स जो वाटर के फ्लो के साथ नीचे को आ रहे थे. एक सोर्स रॉक था मिनरल्स का, वाटर के फ्लो के कारण वो रिवर के फ्लो के साथ नीचे आ रहे थे. बट इन द केस ऑफ गाना द मिनरल्स he found, for that there was no source rock. The gold bearing veins are in Brazil, and it is obvious that the gold deposit of the Ghana are derived from the Brazil plateau when the two continents lay side by side. Did you understand this, Ritik?
So repeat once again to clarify the things.
हमने वीडियो देखी कि एक पर्सन मिनरल्स को डिपॉजिट कर रहा था. वो मिनरल कहाँ से एक्सट्रैक्ट हुए? उसके सोर्स रॉक से. एल्फ्रेड वैगनर ने ऑब्जर्व किया कि गाना कोस्ट पे जो गोल्ड के मिनरल्स है, गाना कोस्ट में गोल्ड के मिनरल्स के डिपॉजिट तो है पर वहां पे कोई सोर्स रॉक नहीं है. ऐसा कैसे हो सकता है? उसने सेम टाइप के गोल्ड के मिनरल्स ब्राजील में फाउंड किए और वहां पे सोर्स रॉक था. तो उससे उसने ये कंक्लूड किया एट ए वन पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम this activity was happening because two continents lay side by side. Ritik, now you understand?
Yes, sir.
So summarize it.
This is a third evidence of Alfred Wegener's theory,
What is the name of that theory?
continental drift,
Okay.
in which we saw uh, there was a gold minerals deposited present on a Ghana coast, but their source rocks are not present.
Yes.
At the same time, we have minerals of gold deposited presence in Brazil. They are having their source rocks.
Yes.
This led us to understand Once there was a time when these two places are
Joined together.
joined joined together.
Yes. फर्स्ट एविडेंस था जिगशॉ फिट. सेकंड डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ फॉसिल्स. थर्ड placer deposit. And the fourth one, tillit. So tell me, what is the meaning of tillit? Harleen, do you have any idea? What is the meaning of tillit?
No, sir.
Saurabh,
No, sir.
Ritik?
No idea, sir.
Tillit is a kind of sedimentary rock formed from ancient glacier deposit. It is made of a mix of clay, sand, but think about it. How he can prove that due to the one sedimentary rock, these continents are joined together. रितिक क्या लगता है आपको?
So by analyzing the physical properties of that sedimentary rocks.
Yes. It is a sedimentary rock formed out of deposit of glacier. The Gondwana system of sediments from India is known to have its counterparts in 6 different land masses of the southern hemisphere. But what is the meaning of this? जो इंडिया में सेडिमेंट्री रॉक के जो सेडिमेंट्स पाए जाते हैं वो 6 डिफरेंट लैंड मासेस में भी पाए जाते हैं, वो भी सदर्न हेमिस्फीयर के. Where it is found? It is found in Africa, Falkland Island, Madagascar, Antarctica and Australia. By this, he proved that at a one point of time, these places are joined together. वो बड़ा है ना, समझदार बंदा था. उसने कभी ना कभी अपने टाइम में ना इन्वायरमेंट की स्टडी की होगी. उसको अपनी थ्योरी प्रूव करने के लिए एविडेंस चाहिए थे. सबसे पहले उसने क्या किया, उसने मैप को देखा. उसने प्रपोज किया कि ये दो कॉन्टिनेंट्स है, ये ऐसा लग रहा है कि आपस में फिट हो जाएंगे. फर्स्ट और सेकंड, इन्वायरमेंट में क्या घूमते हैं? इन्वायरमेंट में घूमते हैं एनिमल्स. इन्वायरमेंट में और क्या है? फॉरेस्ट, ट्रीज. और वो जो 1 मिलियन ईयर पहले जो इन्वायरमेंट था वो तो सेम इन्वायरमेंट नहीं है, पर उसके क्या हो सकते हैं? फॉसिल्स. फिर उसने उसके बारे में स्टडी करना शुरू किया. देन आफ्टर उसने डिपॉजिट देखे, क्योंकि इन्वायरमेंट में माउंटेन्स होंगी, वहाँ पे रॉक्स हो गए, रिवर्स भी होंगी. रिवर्स क्या करेंगी? मिनरल्स को अपने साथ इकट्ठा लेके रिवर बेड की तरफ नीचे लेके जाएगी. उसने उसके बारे में स्टडी किया. उसने अपनी थ्योरी को प्रूव करने के लिए इसको तीसरा एविडेंस बनाया. फोर्थ वन इज टिलिट. टिलिट मीन्स इट इज रिलेटेड टू द रॉक्स. फर्स्ट वन इज रिलेटेड टू द स्ट्रक्चर, सेकंड वन इज रिलेटेड टू द एनिमल्स और ट्रीज, थर्ड वन is related to the minerals, and fourth one is related to the rocks. by these four evidences he proved his theory, that is called continental drift. But there is a one big problem with his theory. That is force of drifting. Harleen, tell me, इन फोर एविडेंस में क्या कहीं उसने हमें ये बताया कि अगर वो कॉन्टिनेंट्स एक टाइम पे कंबाइन थे पर अलग कैसे हुए?
नो सर।
हमें ये तो पता लग गया कि कॉन्टिनेंट मूव कर रहे हैं. वाई द एविडेंस ऑफ दिस फोर एविडेंसेस? बट लाइक मान लो कि आप एल्फ्रेड वैगनर हो और मैं एक साइंटिफिक कम्युनिटी का पर्सन हूँ. आप मेरे पास ये चार एविडेंस लेके आते हैं, तो मेरा सबसे पहले आपसे यही क्वेश्चन होगा, ओके, योर एविडेंसेस आर वैलिड, बट हाउ हाउ दिस कॉन्टिनेंट्स आर मूविंग? ये ड्रिफ्ट कैसे हो रही है? क्या आंसर
सो
दोगे
बट
आप?
वो आई गेस लाइक उसके बाद मे बी उसने दोबारा कोई न्यू थ्योरी ढूंढने की कोशिश करे हो कि कैसे ड्रिफ्ट करे होंगे,
ओके,
बिकॉज इनसे तो एक्सप्लेन नहीं हो पाएगा ना कि कैसे वो मूव करे कॉन्टिनेंट्स.
यस. सौरभ, व्हाट आर यू थिंकिंग?
सर उसने हिस्ट्री के बेसिस पे किया होता अगर तो हो जाता सर, जो उनके पास पहले से डाटा था।
जैसे
जैसे
हमेशा याद
आपने
रखना,
यस सर।
कंटेक्स्ट. वी आर टॉकिंग
यस सर।
अबाउट 1912.
यस सर।
1912 में उसने ये थ्योरी प्रपोज की थी.
यस सर।
ओके, नाउ टेल मी.
बट मैथ तभी भी प्रेजेंट है सर, मैथ के ओल्ड ओल्ड मैथ के बेसिस पे।
मेरा क्वेश्चन था कि
ओके।
उसने ये तो प्रूव कर दिया कि एक टाइम पे ये सारे लैंडमास इकट्ठे थे,
यस सर।
पर ये मूव क्यों हुए?
हाँ, ये तो नहीं कहा उन्होंने।
तुम मान लो कि अगर आप एल्फ्रेड वैगनर हो, तो आप कैसे प्रूव करते कि कॉन्टिनेंट्स मूव करते हैं? उसको मूव करने के ये फैक्टर हैं.
नो आइडिया सर।
ऋतिक, डू यू हैव एनी आइडिया?
Sir, he will prove by the knowledge of Earth's interior continent, because continents lies over the asthenosphere, which
ओके,
which is fluid, so they can move on asthenosphere.
ऑन दैट टाइम at 1912 we don't have the knowledge about continental plates, because in the starting phase of the video I have shown you that on that time people are thinking that earth was in a stationary phase, earth is not moving. That's why I told you, remember the context in which he proposed the theory. We don't have any knowledge, I cannot say any. We have somewhat knowledge about earth interior, but not like that, like we have now. The biggest problem with Alfred Wegener theory is that it cannot provide a convincing mechanism for how the continent drifts across the earth's surface. Although he suggested that the movement responsible for the drifting of the continent was caused by pole fleeing force and tidal force. He proposed two things. The first one is pole fleeing force, and second one is tidal force. Write it down. He proposed two things for the force of drifting. The first one is pole fleeing force, and the second one is tidal force. We can also call pole fleeing force as a centrifugal force. So tell me, Ritik, what is the meaning of centrifugal force?
So centrifugal force is a force which forces something to move out from a from their orbit, we can say.
Okay, Harleen.
So it is a force in circular motion and it tends to move the body away from the circle.
ओके बट उसने प्रपोज किया कि जो अर्थ का लैंड मास है वो मूव कर रहा है सेंट्रीफ्यूगल फोर्स से. इससे क्या आपकी अंडरस्टैंडिंग है इस पर्टिकुलर सेंटेंस से?
So I guess that the landmass is drifting away from the center of the earth.
नो.
Like gradually it's part.
नो. जो हमारी अर्थ है वो लाइक ए बॉल, कंसिडर इट लाइक ए बॉल. अर्थ इज मूविंग, rotating. He proposed the polar fleeing force relates to the rotation of the earth. Due to the rotation of the earth, continents are moving. The second force that was suggested by Wegener, the tidal force. You understand first force? Centrifugal force due to the movement of rotation of the earth. The second force he proposed was tidal force. Saurabh, what is tidal force?
The, the force exerted by the water waves, sir.
No. Ritik?
Not an exact definition about tidal force.
Okay. Harleen?
So like I guess it is a force which causes the movement of tides, like vertical upward and downward movement, kind of gravitational force.
Kind of, but not the exact.
Hmm.
It is related to the attraction of the moon and the sun that develops tide in the ocean water. He proposed that due to the gravitational force in between moon and earth and sun and earth, moon gravitational force attract the oceanic water. उससे क्या हो रहा है? टाइड्स बन रही हैं और वो टाइड्स कॉन्टिनेंट्स को मूव कर रही हैं. This was his proposal, but that proposal is not accepted by scientific community. Wegener believed that these forces would become effective when applied over many million years continuously. But however, most of the scholars consider these forces to be a totally inadequate because मास बहुत बड़ा है, और जस्ट टाइडल फोर्स से और कॉन्टिनेंटल और सेंट्रीफ्यूगल फोर्स से इतना बड़े लैंड मास की मूवमेंट पॉसिबल नहीं है. बट स्टिल Alfred Wegener continental drift theory was a remarkable. Now tell me, we heard this word many times. We also use this word many times. Theory. What is the meaning of theory? Does theory and hypothesis are same or different? We just discussed one theory, continental drift theory. What is the meaning of theory? Ritik?
So, theory we call assumption of someone.
Then if theory is the assumption of someone, then what is hypothesis?
No idea, sir.
Saurabh?
So the theory is something that one proposed according to him कि ये हो सकता है.
और hypothesis?
हाइपोथेसिस वो है जो साइंटिफिक रैशनल से हम टेस्ट कर सकते हैं.
यार मुझे ये नहीं समझ आ रहा कि
Yes, sir.
पिछले 1 डेढ़ घंटे से हम थ्योरी के बारे में पढ़ रहे हैं, और किसी ने भी मुझसे ये नहीं पूछा कि सर थ्योरी का मतलब क्या है. या तो हमें पता है पर बता नहीं पा रहे, या हम पूछना नहीं चाह रहे. हरलीन, what is your understanding about theory?
So, theory is the explanation of something with evidences, and hypothesis is merely an assumption.
Yes, we can call something as a theory when we have a evidences. यार हमने अभी तो डिस्कस किया, एल्फ्रेड वैगनर ने 4 एविडेंस दिए अपनी थ्योरी को प्रूव करने के लिए. If we define the term theory, a theory is like a big idea that explains how something works in this world. It is based on lot of evidence and has been tested many times. But in the case of hypothesis, it is a guess or a prediction about what might happen in a specific situation. Like before the cricket match, prediction करते हैं ना कि पिच ऐसे बिहेव करेगी, अगर मौसम ऐसा हुआ तो वैसे बिहेव करेगी, पहले किसको बैटिंग करनी चाहिए, बाद में किसको बैटिंग करनी चाहिए, पहले बॉलिंग किसको करनी चाहिए. व्हाट आर दोज आर नॉट थ्योरीज, दोज आर hypotheses, because we are assuming something which can be happen in the future based upon what is happening in the past, but we don't have the exact evidences to prove that hypothesis or to prove that assumption. So just wait a minute. So Saurabh, tell me, what are those four evidences?
Yes, sir. First is that the shores of Africa and South America are were joint ones.
Okay.
And second is the distribution of fossils.
Okay. उसमें क्या था?
उसमें उसमें था सर जो एनिमल्स थे वो एंटार्क्टिका में भी थे और इंडिया में भी थे
Okay. And what was those
और
animal? What is the name of that animal?
रेप्टाइल था चाहे ये नहीं यार सर रेप्टाइल का नाम
You have to remember. मैंने
यस
उस
सर
वक्त बोला भी था कि लिख लो.
यस सर लिखा था सर ये चिस्ट्रोसॉरस
Ritik, tell me about four evidences.
Yes, sir. The first one evidence of Alfred Wegener's theory is jigsaw fit.
Okay.
Second one is
Explain also little bit.
okay, sir. So in this, it told that uh, the Southern America uh, and Africa coastals are approaching uh, towards themselves and having same coastal lines
Okay. And second one.
and distribution of fossils evidence. In this, he said a fossil evidence of Triassic land reptiles called Last, uh, Lastrosaurus, uh, also found in Africa or Antarctica,
Okay.
and
Third one.
uh, third one is placer deposit, where he told us about the gold minerals deposited without their surface rocks present in Ghana coast also found in Brazil with their surface source rocks.
And the fourth one.
Fourth one is tillit.
Okay. And what was that?
In tillit theory, he said Indian sedimentary rocks are also found in Africa, Antarctica, Australia, etc.
Okay. Harleen, tell me about
So I have
those four evidences.
Okay, so the first evidence was the jigsaw fit of the continents. He explained it how South America and Africa was like the pieces of puzzle and was showing the jigsaw fit. And the second was the distribution of fossils. He explained it how some of the reptiles like Mesosaurus, their fossils was found in like Africa and America. So
Okay.
how these continents were relatable, I mean, joined at particular time. The third was the distribution of placer deposits, and he explained that how Ghana coast and that how Ghana coast didn't had any rock, but
Source
was
rock.
place. Yes, it didn't had any source rock, but there was some deposits of elements, valuable minerals like gold, and that source rock was present in Brazil.
Yes.
So it means that they were together
Certain point of
at
time.
once. Yes, and the fourth one was the tillet,
Yes.
and in it he explained the sedimentary rock deposition.
Yes. So note down this question. In the first slide or second slide, we know the continent cover was 29%. But if we proposed continent cover is 39% of the Earth's surface, what would happen? What would happen if the continent covered 39% of the Earth's surface rather than 29%. How it will impact our environment? How it impact the distribution of resources? How it will impact our decisions against the policies? How it will impact our trade? How it will impact the geopolitics? How it will impact the settlement? I'm not going to answer it. मैंने आपको काफ़ी सारे hints दे दिए हैं. Based upon that hints, you have to answer it. Take your time, 15 to 20 seconds, structure your thoughts, and show me your observation. Take 5 minutes, and after 5 minutes, we will discuss. What would happen if the continents covered 39% of the Earth's rock? Don't use Google or ChatGPT. Trust me, these two sources will not help you in the paper. Only your brain will. So rely on your brain and on my hints. Don't use Google or ChatGPT. अगर आपका आंसर पूरा गलत होगा कोई इशू नहीं है, पर मैं चाहता हूँ आप सोचें. सोचने की कैपेसिटी तभी आएगी जब खुद सोचोगे. ओके सौरभ?
Yes, sir.
5 मिनट लो और सोचो, पेपर पे लिखो कि क्या होगा अगर लैंड मास जो अभी प्रेजेंट में 29% है वो अगर 39% हो गया. 22-10 हो गए. हम दोबारा से डिस्कस करेंगे इस क्वेश्चन को 22-15 पे. सो थिंक अबाउट इट. What would happen if the continent covered 39% of the Earth's surface instead of 29%? Yes, Saurabh.
Yes, sir.
मैंने जानबूझ कर एक्स्ट्रा टाइम दिया ताकि आप अच्छे से सोच लो. So tell us the answer. Enlighten us, Saurabh, with your answer.
Sir, according to me, distribution of resources will be different from current state, sir.
Yeah, that's a very good observation. Other,
And
but how?
tropic
How? Explain little bit.
means, sir, we would have more land mass,
Okay,
due to which the distribution of minerals would be more discrete.
okay. Any other point?
Sir, we would have more evidence about the evolution.
But how? How more evidence? How extra landmass help us to proposed or prove that the
Sir,
continents are moving?
it gives more area, na, sir, due to which the population would be inhabited in that area.
I don't get your point. Please restructure it.
Sir, more land mass is equal to more area, and more area. If we have more area, it gives rise to more development.
Okay,
Yes, and due to which there would have been new innovation or something like that.
okay.
Yes, sir.
Ritik, tell me your observation.
So according to me, if continent covers 39% of Earth's surface, then we will have more resources like for agricultural purpose, we will have more
But
fossil
how
fuels.
you can say that we will have more resources? Do you not
Sir,
consider ocean as a resources?
sir,
If one source is increasing, on the other hand, second resource is depleting.
but we have more, then we will have more land mass for agricultural purpose.
Okay. Then
Then
what?
we will have,
Then what will happen?
we can do more agricultural activities.
Okay. That is your first point. Second.
We will have um, more fossil fuels like crude oil,
Okay. But fossil fuels are also found in the ocean, isn't it?
but yes, sir. Fossil fuels are also found in oceans, but land masses or continents, extraction of fossil fuels from land mass is easy as compared to oceans.
Okay. Any other
So,
point?
no, sir, that's all about.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Harleen, what are your observation?
So the first point will be water scarcity.
Okay.
Like if the mostly area will be covered by land, then we will have the scarcity of water. And second
How?
point which I observed, so because right now mostly the area is covered by oceans,
Okay.
and after that 10% of the oceanic area will reduce.
Okay.
So,
So how will
so
it
and the
impact
second,
the water scarcity? Because we are
so
not
if water is
because we are not drinking the oceanic water.
so, but uh, by some way it is reaching to us. We are using it. I mean, it can be filtered down or
You are talking about the water cycle?
no, sir. That is the other thing because it will affect the climate.
Okay.
Water
That's a
cycle.
good point. It will affect the climate. Okay. Other?
Yes. But by some means we are using the water of oceans. I mean, it can be filtered down later, like we are using salt from the ocean water.
But that is a very minute scale.
Mm.
Yeah, that's a good observation. Next.
Second was that if there will be less water, it will definitely affect the water cycle, less evaporation, and
Okay.
rainfall will be reduced.
It will
So it will be affect.
look, we don't have the evidences like it will deplete the rainfall. We can say that it will impact the rainfall system.
Okay.
Okay. Good observation. Third.
And the third, which I thought was that, like, if the mostly area will be covered by land, then the glaciers will be reduced,
Kind of.
and it will also affect the climate.
Yes.
And like land gets heaten up more quickly,
Yes.
and it is again impact the climate.
Okay. So Saurabh, tell me,
Yes, sir.
what are four components of Earth? Harleen, switch off your mic.
Lithosphere,
Okay.
hydrosphere,
Okay.
atmosphere,
Okay.
biosphere.
अगर मेरा कॉन्टिनेंटल का लैंड मास 29 से 39% में जाएगा तो क्या
Yes,
ये
sir.
चार कंपोनेंट पे इम्पैक्ट पड़ेगा?
पड़ेगा सर.
तो हमने क्यों नहीं सोचा इस तरह से?
Yes, sir.
यू हैव द इन्फॉर्मेशन. मैंने नहीं
Yes.
बताया आपको कि फोर कंपोनेंट्स हैं.
Yes, sir.
आपने खुद ही आंसर दिया.
Yes.
ऋतिक,
Yes, sir.
why we are not able to give the answer in a systematic way? We discussed about system, na?
Yes, sir.
You have to give the answer in a systematic way.
Yes, sir.
You need to think in a system.
Okay, sir.
When I said what will happen if we increase the continent cover 29 to 39%, then immediately one question pops up in your mind. How? How we study Earth? We study Earth based upon four components. And what are those four components? Lithosphere, hydrosphere, atmosphere, and biosphere. How it will impact those four components? You will find your answer. It will impact climate. It will impact ocean circulation. It will impact biodiversity and ecosystem. It will impact carbon and water cycle. It will impact plate tectonic and geological activity. It will impact human civilization. It will impact world population. It will impact the settlement. It will impact the businesses. It will impact the trade. मैंने आपको हिंट दिए थे. ट्रेड को कैसे इम्पैक्ट करेगा हेरलिन?
सर लाइक अगर उससे वाटर बॉडीज हमारी रिड्यूस हो जाएंगी ना, तो जैसे
तो इम्पैक्ट कैसे होगा ट्रेड के ऊपर?
लाइक शिप्स वगैरह यूजुअली ट्रेड में हेल्प होती है, तो उससे वो रूट इफेक्ट हो सकते हैं जो यूजुअली होते हैं पोर्ट्स.
बट वी कैन आल्सो यूज द लैंड मास फॉर ट्रेड out of ocean or land mass which is suitable for trading. What do you think?
Sir, depend on the material we are transporting.
No. Okay, if you are saying depend on the material of the transportation, but how you can prove your hypothesis? Show me the facts. Harleen, are you there?
Yes, sir. I was thinking.
You can load more material on a ship rather than a truck or in a train. Isn't right or wrong?
Yes, sir.
Then how you can prove your point? Okay, anything else? How it will impact the trade if the land mass were increased? When I said impact, you have to tell me positive impact and negative impact. Because
Yes, sir.
ऐसा नहीं होगा कि अकेले पॉजिटिव इम्पैक्ट ही होंगे, नेगेटिव भी होंगे. You have to think along these two lines, negative and positive. So Ritik, tell me, how it will impact the trade?
So it will reduce the ocean
Ocean?
trades using means ocean ways.
But it can also increase the continental trade. I'm saying, tell me what are the positive and negative impacts due to this phenomena. It's very simple यार. जो मेरी शिप्स हैं उस पर ट्रेड करना आसान है क्योंकि वो ज़्यादा लोड कैरी कर सकते हैं. और जो कॉन्टिनेंट है वो अकेली एक कंट्री नहीं होती. सोचो ना, एक कॉन्टिनेंट के बारे में सोचो, इंडियन प्लेट के बारे में सोचो, एशिया के बारे में सोचो, कितनी सारी कंट्री है. अगर आपको कोई मटेरियल इंडिया से अफ़गानिस्तान को भेजना हो तो बीच में कौन कौन सी कंट्री आएगी? पाकिस्तान. क्या वो आपको इजीली क्रॉस होने देंगे? नहीं. बट आपको वही ट्रेड अगर अफ़गानिस्तान से करना है तो आप इंटरनेशनल वाटर बॉडी से आराम से जा सकते हो, जैसा कि हम अभी कर भी रहे हैं. अगर हमारी वाटर बॉडी कम होगी और लैंड मास इंक्रीज होगा तो प्रोबेबिलिटी ज़्यादा ये है कि हमारा ट्रेड कम होगा, ना कि बढ़ेगा. This is just a possibility. How it will impact the food security? Saurabh,
Yes, sir.
how it will impact the food security?
Sir, according to me, as the people living near coastal areas are dependent on seafood mostly.
Okay.
So if land mass increases in that particular area,
Mm-hmm.
it would reduce the area for fishing.
It will improve, increase or reduce the.
Reduce ना सर,
एक,
ओशन रिड्यूस हो रहा है ना.
देख, दो टाइप का इम्पैक्ट आएगा.
यस सर.
एक तो इम्पैक्ट आएगा उन पीपल्स पे जो कोस्टल एरिया पे रहते हैं,
यस सर.
और एक जो इनर लैंड मास में रहते हैं.
यस सर.
जो कोस्टल एरिया है उनके लिए मोस्टली नेगेटिव इम्पैक्ट आएगा.
यस, बट
क्यों?
लैंड वाले उनके लिए पॉजिटिव इम्पैक्ट आएगा.
उनके लिए पॉजिटिव कैसे आएगा?
वो एग्रीकल्चर ज़्यादा कर पाएंगे.
यस.
यस सर.
So this is the story of episode 4. Now you can ask if you have any questions. किसी का कोई क्वेश्चन नहीं है? सब कुछ क्लियर है? बाउंसर था?
सर अगर लाइक लैंड का एरिया इंक्रीज करता है तो उससे जैसे सपोज किस कंट्री की लैंड इंक्रीज करती है वो भी तो अफेक्ट होगा ना.
यस.
तो उस कंट्री का बाउंड्रीज एरियाज वो सब चीजें भी अफेक्ट होंगे.
यार इंडिया को ही देख लो. इंडिया और नेपाल में क्या डिफरेंस है? वन ऑफ द मेजर डिफरेंस इज लैंड मास. Because of that landmass we have most variety. Look at the people in
Yes.
Jammu Kashmir and look at the peoples in Tamil Nadu. They both are
Mm,
different.
yes.
They both have different lifestyle, different eating habit,
Mm,
different clothing style. So
yes,
yes,
sir.
it will impact.
And can it impact on the economy of the country?
What do you think?
Yes,
How?
because if population will increase and there are chances that also the land agriculture area will increase.
There might be a possibility, because
Mhm.
we can say that if the land mass increases, but it will also impact the climate. And in India,
Yes.
near about 70% of our agriculture land is dependent upon the rain.
Mhm.
So we cannot
Yes, sir.
say evidently that it can a positive impact. It can be or it cannot be.
Mhm. Okay, okay.
Any other question? Saurabh, Ritik?
No, sir.
Saurabh?
No sir.